Hey there, friends, Nibs again. Out here in the garage tonight, do a little bit of goofing around. I am going to do some shooting videos tonight too, but before we get started on that, I have an absolute bounty of knives to show you guys and one air gun. Really, really cool air gun, so stick around for that. I'll try to run through these knives. I don't want to, underscore any one of these because a lot of these are really, really cool knives. So yesterday I went to the antique store that I've been going to over near the shooting range where I go. And it's hit or miss there. Sometimes I find stuff, but the guy that has a little cabinet there restocked his antique knives, and I found four. I actually found 5 knives there, but 4 of these I found in the same little cabinet. And I've bought several really nice knives from that same one. So like in no particular order, because these are all great. The first one is actually a really, really nice little Camillus. It does have the Camillus 4-line tang stamp on both blades. So if you read your kind of history about knives, I've been oiling it. The main blade is kind of weak on the snap, but it still works. The cutlery's really stopped using the 2 tang stamps on both blades or multiple blades in like the early 30s from what I read. So that helps date this knife. So this 4-line tang stamp would have started in about 1930. So I do have one that is actually a 3-line tang stamp, and that ran from like 1916 up to 1930. And really the only difference between the two is the 4-line tang stamp actually has, so it starts out, it says Camillus, and then Cutlery Co., Camillus, New York, it's the 3rd line, and then the 4th line is just USA. And this one, both blades say USA on it. So the blades have been whittled a little bit. It actually goes into the half stop pretty good, and then it actually snaps open. The close is pretty dismal on it, but it's all right. It's a nearly 100-year-old knife. We'll give it a break. Now this next one is pretty cool. Look at this genuine stag on this knife. It's a little worn here on the bottom, but this is a, get this one open here. This is a Gotlieb. I can't read the rest of that, but this was made in Germany. But this is a split back Whittler. It has a main big blade that runs off from both springs. This is very much like, not the same shape, but very similar to a Case Seahorse Whittler and how it works. And then it has 2 of these. Both of these blades are very pointy and sharp like this. I don't know if that's original or if they've been whittled down. A whittler whittled down. But the other blade's exactly the same. Really, really cool knife. I couldn't find an example of this Whittler knife anywhere. All of the George Wostholm knives that I see are all like a military bayonet type of knife. So if anybody has any information on this Wostholm or Gotlieb Whittler, that's pretty cool. All right. So those both came from the same cabinet. I'm going to go through the 4 that I got from the same cabinet first. And then I found this little buck. And this one doesn't have a model number on it, so I actually went through and pulled out my other buck. And this is a buck 305, and this is exactly the same thing. The buck 305 is known as the Lancer. It's the smallest of the 300 series. But this one just says buck made in USA. This one does have pins for the blades showing, And so that tells me that this is a very early Camillus production buck 305. Before, so in 1967, 68, Schrade would have been making these for buck, but they would have been using Swindon pins, and so there wouldn't have been any pins showing out in the bolsters. They would have just, the Swindon pins, the covers actually lock in place and then lock in place with the spring pin. So this is probably a 69 or 70, I believe, buck 305. So really cool, and it has not been sharpened or anything. It's like brand new. So really cool little early buck. And then the last one that I found at that same cabinet is this. This one is I kind of gave it away earlier. I said Wostholm, but this is a George Wostholm from Sheffield, England. And this is one of those IXL patterns. And from what I've been able to find, I don't know if that is a bone or stag handle or plastic. It doesn't look like plastic to me, but I can't tell for sure. But best I can tell, this knife was made sometime in the 1950s, but a really cool penknife. The blades appear to be full. There's a little bit of corrosion on them. I haven't done any cleanup work on any of these yet, but that was, so those four came from one booth. And then I was actually down in another section, and you got to go and have people open up the cabinet so you can look at knives. And I went to the register that was down in the lower section of this huge antique store, and the fellow running the register came over and opened the case for me, and he says, I have a booth up in the upper section. He told me what the booth number was, and sure enough, I went up and I found this little guy, which is a case. Very nice snap on this knife too, but is another case penknife. This is artificial mother of pearl. It's the 9 handle stamp. I believe 8 would have been genuine mother of pearl, but this is a 92042 and it is a 10 dot 1970 nice little penknife. Very nice shape. It does need a little bit of light sanding on the show side scale. The backside one is very nice shape, but this is a 22 bucks. Somebody didn't know what they had, but so that was my find from the antique store. Now on Saturday, I got a package in from Kevin over at the Knife Doctor channel. He's been getting some knives from Bear&sons and reselling them on his whatnot and on his website. These both came from his website, which I don't remember, but I'll put it down here. He's selling some good stuff, some factory seconds that I don't know what's second about them. You saw that Bone Stag folding hunter that I got from him last week. That's a nice knife. The only thing that was wrong with it, it had never been sharpened. The blade was like a butter knife, but other than that, I can't find a single thing wrong with that knife. But he has picked up some knives. I don't believe this is a factory second. I think this is just, he grabbed a bunch of these from Ken Griffey Jr., who's the owner of Bear Knives, and is reselling these on his site. Good price though, very good price compared to what they normally retail for. But this is a Bear&son. I don't have the boxes out here, they're in the house, but it's the blue denim micarta. It is a slip joint, but it is a nice kind of modern styled pocket knife with a Small little pocket clip there. Got the little bear paw on the pocket clip. It's unfortunate that they don't put the model numbers on their knives, but that's the way it goes, I guess. So that one is really cool. I've actually been carrying that one in my little EDC holster here. The pocket clip is a little tight. I think I need to give it a little bend. I'll do that later. All right, and then the second one that actually came from Kevin is the reason I actually went to his website, because I wanted one of these. This is an amazing knife. I couldn't tell by the pictures on how they were actually doing this this work on the bone, but it looks like some sort of like a baked on enamel. It is very, very hard. I can't scratch it at all. I was thinking maybe it was some kind of cheap sticker, but it is very, very well done. But this is so again, Kevin from the Knife Doctor channel had this commissioned by Bear&son for a Memorial Day knife, and it is etched for the 250th anniversary of our country, and it also is etched with the Knife Doctor right there. So there's only 100 of these made, so this is, I don't know how much of a collector it'll be, but there's only 100 of them, so maybe someday it might be worth $1. I don't know, but that is really, really cool. The back side is just plain white bone, but the front side's all show. Really cool. I kind of wish they had done something on the back, but it is a really cool knife. I think he's sold out on them now. I'm not 100% certain of that. All right, let's keep going. We still got a lot of knives to look at. I got a whole box over here that was sent to me by a subscriber of the channel. Said he loves my channel, still plays with BB guns, but he doesn't mess with knives anymore, so he wanted to send me a few of his knives that he wasn't using anymore. But so these are two that I actually found on eBay. I got a couple more coming too, but this is a really cool, I don't know if that's one of those, I don't think it is, Sparks. It kind of looks like the Sparks badge, but without the enamel in it. But this one is I didn't look up, couldn't find my chart inside. So let me see what this one is. This one is so it's got the case XX with the SS in the middle and then USA underneath. So that's an 80 to 89, and it has 2 dots, so an 88. So this is a 1988. I thought it was a peanut when I saw it on the pictures, but it is actually a little bit bigger than a peanut. This is a 22087 pattern. So it's kind of the same shape as a peanut. Let me see if I got a peanut up here on the bench. Usually do. Nope, doesn't look like I do. Huh. Nope, I guess I don't. I wanted to compare it, but they're over there locked away. Really cool. Very lightly used. There's a couple little use scratches on the blades, but overall really nice shape. Smooth black Delrin, which would be that's a 22. Yeah, two pattern. So 2 is black, yellow is 3, and any other color, synthetic or Delrin, is a 4. I have a couple of 4s. Here's one right here. Actually, this little canoe is a 4 model number. It begins with a 4. All right, so that one was a good deal. Late night eBay shopping. It's fine. Now this one, this is really pretty cool. This one, they did not show this little slip or sheath or whatever you want to call it with this knife, but they sent it along with it. This is a really nice, I like it when eBayers do that. But this is another full-size trapper, and this is in black and white micarta handle scales. Really, really cool. But what is most cool about this one, it is actually badged as a Harley knife. I like that. Still has the factory burr on the blades. Let's check the date on this one. So this one is a 2010 to 2019, 5 dots, so 2015. I think I'd already figured that out before, but I forgot. But snapping pretty good. Got the spay blade. So it's a 10, 254. 10 is the micarta or G10 or other types of synthetic material like that. So really pretty cool. All right, so that is everything except for this one box that came in from, I'll say his first name is Jay, and he's from Lubbock, Texas. And he wrote me an email saying, you know, I'm getting up in age. I still play with BB guns, but I don't carry knives anymore. So I want to send you a couple of my knives that I've got just sitting around. These are just knives that are sitting around. First, it was just going to be a couple of case knives. And then when he sent me the tracking number, he said, I found a couple others, and I threw them in as well. So the first one, and he had them all nicely bubble wrapped up and everything. It would have taken an hour to unwrap everything. But so the first one is a really, really cool. I actually do have one of these, but the one that I have is a China-made Uncle Henry. This one is a Schrade Uncle Henry 707 UH, made in USA, Schrade Plus. And this is one of those ones with the little pair of scissors. So I also have a 707 UH, but again, it is a China-made one. So now, this one is a Smith & Wesson knives, CH400 EP. I'm not familiar with Smith & Wesson knives at all, but this is a really pretty cool knife. This one does not say made in USA, made in China. It doesn't say where it's made. It didn't say anywhere on the box where it's made. This is the CH400 Crying Eagle, but it is a kind of it's a September 11th, 2001 memorial knife. But it's a nice little modern style folder. But like I said, it does not say, only thing it says on here is hammer forged surgical steel and Smith & Wesson. I do have a couple of these Smith & Wesson cutting horses that are more modern, more newer than this one, and they do say made in China on them. So I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care, but I buy, you know, quite a few China-made knives, so that's fine. Let's see what else we got. We've got a little buck. So this is another one very similar to this little buck we looked at. The next size bigger, actually. This is a buck 309 companion. It's a more modern. I didn't look up, while I'm doing my editing, I'll look up this. It's just the line going like this. But very nice, never used, never sharpened buck companion. So the companion, like I said, is the next size bigger than the what was that called? The Lancer. So you can see it looks huge next to the Lancer, but it is still a tiny little pocket knife. I do like these little pen knives. They're pretty cool. So the Lancer has a spear point blade and a coping blade, and this companion has a drop point. I said spear point. This was a drop point. A little bit different shape drop point, but two drop points. But the Lancer has a coping blade, and then this one has a pen blade. So really pretty cool. That is so we're just getting started in this box, folks. So what else we got? Okay, we've got a K-bar, a K-lock. This one is also says made in USA. It says the ultimate in lock blade knives. It is pretty cool. I don't know about the ultimate in lock blade knives, but it is pretty cool. So it's got the K-bar guarantee. It's got a little paper cover over top here. Let me get that pulled back. But it has a little display here that shows actually how to unlock this. This is not quite as bad as one of those ones that hit the front bolster is the unlock point. As far as, you know, being a hidden, but it is, so there's no unlock and you can't unlock it, but it's actually the whole rear bolster pushes up, and it looks like it needs a little oil, but that's not uncommon with lockbacks anyway. The closing snap is sometimes not great on those just because of the way the lock mechanism works. But that is really, really cool. Actually, this one was made in Japan. But again, brand new, unused, uncarried, anything in the box. All right, we've got 3 more. And these 3 are the cases, so. All right. The first one, and by far not the least or greatest or what, maybe the greatest, but this is amazing. This is first, a couple of firsts in my case collection. It's my first gunstock. I don't have a case gunstock yet. Let's see, this is a .62-15, but I'll have you pay close attention to these blades. That is Damascus steel. Isn't that amazing? And this is a, like I said, .62-15 gun stock. And let's see what the date is on this guy. This is a, so case XX with the dots in between and then USA underneath is a 1980 to 89. And this has 1 dot. So a 1989. So 1989 Damascus gun stock. That is unbelievable. Just way too generous. I mean, I am not going to look a gift horse in the mouth, and it's definitely, I'm not going to complain at all. But all right, so now this next one is a Ruger official licensed pocket cutlery produced by Case. So this is a red Texas toothpick. It's a 10-096 stainless steel, still in the original tin, still with the original little bubble wrap inside of it. Has a Case warranty card down inside there. It comes in this little slip, which is pretty cool. And it is a red micarta tiny toothpick with the Ruger badge, and there's stamp in there. And this is a 2005. Yeah, 2005. So 5 dots. Yep, 2005. So that is stinking awesome. All right, we got one more to look at here, and then we got to take a look at this pellet gun too. So you guys said you like long ones, so we're bringing you long ones. All right, one more case. So this again is a case tested. This one's pretty special though. This one is also a 2005, according to the box, the date stamp on the box. It is a red persimmon orange tiny toothpick. These things are tiny. You got to make sure you hold them tight so they don't fall. But this one is another one of those Case Brothers Select. And that tang stamp is so tiny, I'm going to have to take a close-up of that and blow it up so I can see it. But I'll put it up here so you can see it. But it also says Case Brothers on the blade. And that one is brand new. Still got the factory burr. And that is a beautiful little bone knife right there. I've got quite a few tiny toothpicks now. Zach over at New Again Knife Reviews did a tiny toothpick challenge a few months ago, and I bought a bunch of them. I got this one. I thought this one was a synthetic, but if you believe what you read about using an ultraviolet light on the handle scales, and if they fluoresce, it's bone. That one fluoresces like crazy, so pretty sure that one's a bone. But there you go. Those are the knives. Now let's not take too long, but we'll talk about this new air gun here. Very similar to, it's kind of like a cross between a Crosman 760 and a Model 66. And it still is a smooth bore. But the one main characteristic that stands right out is it has an adjustable length stock, so you can actually grow into this. If you are a youth getting this guy, you can start out real short. I found 2 clicks is pretty comfortable for me, but this pumping action is pretty weird. Look how that folds up like that. Yeah, it's got the little pellet clip. So this one was actually showed to me by Derek over at Derek's Adventures. It was on eBay. He found it and said, here, you probably want this. If you don't buy it, I'm gonna. But I went and bought it. This is a Crosman Model 525, also called the Recruit. And the listing on there, so this scope was turned around, so this piece back here was up against the rear sight. And they said in their description, they said, we bought this brand new, and the scope was mounted on the gun so that we would have had to take the rear sight off to get the cap off, so we never used it. I'm not saying that to make fun of anybody. I'm saying that to say that this 2010, now 16-year-old Crosman pellet gun has, most, according to them, has never been fired. And it doesn't seem that way either. So I did do a couple of mags through it before I started up, just to get the scope somewhat zeroed on it. So, because I knew we were gonna be a while with all them knives, so I didn't want to take up time zeroing a scope too. But we'll shoot this one little mag full here anyway, and then we'll get out of here. About 5 pumps seem to be really pretty good. Oh, I gotta take my scope cap off. Do 3 on the splatter burst, and then we'll knock down some Indians. Not bad, pretty well zeroed. Very much like the 760, but it's got the metal barrel shroud with a steel tube down inside like the 766. But I really like this extension back here. The scope's not bad, actually. Some of these are good, some of them are real crap. This one actually focused in real nice, and it's good for 7 yards. My chair was wobbling. I was trying to compensate. All right, we got a blue Indian there. Got him. All right. Crosman, it's the year of the pumper, right? I had to get it. Just had to. All right, and the red Indian. Nice. So anyway, there you go. Really cool. One I've never heard of. And now I have one. I do like that. Very easily adjustable. Very interesting pump handle. I think it's pretty much just a 760. Although this little cap up here is more like a 66. Model 66, which I do have a couple of those over here. So anyway, really long video. Sorry it took so long. Hope you guys liked the video. Till next time, have a great day.